Let's build a leather guitar strap because why not? Okay, so I had a buddy that wanted me to make him a leather guitar strap. I figured why not? And I started looking around online, like Guitar Center, places like that, and noticed that the leather guitar straps ranged anywhere from $40 to into the hundreds, depending upon how intricate they were and how well made they were. And I actually went to a Guitar Center here in Houston and looked around and put my hands on some of these, took some pictures, videotaped it, just so I can get back to my shop and recreate one of these because it's been a while since I've used a guitar strap. I played guitar in another lifetime and haven't in a while. Anyway, I decided to make one for him, and what I'm doing here is setting up the basic uh, part that goes over your shoulder of the strap, and I will be cutting in some angles here to fill it off the edges to where you can get a nice little decorative strap here uh, at the bottom side. This is the front piece of the strap that connects to the guitar. Okay, so it's starting to come together now that you're cutting off or trimming off the pieces that you do not need. Now you can start to see it take shape. And what I'll do now is actually put in the hole that will punch through to the actual guitar itself. Now I started putting in these seam lines um, for a reason. I was going to do a pattern on path and get all of the holes put in for future sewing. But I realized later on in this project that I don't really think it's necessary to put in a seam line because I will probably, it's a very simple sewing project. I mean, it's all straight lines and straight pieces of leather. So I would probably just throw this on the sewing machine and um, put in some faux sewing, if you will, which I typically do on things like this. The guy wanted just a simple leather strap, and I hate to just give someone a piece of leather that I cut. Just simply adding in thread really does add to the look of whatever leather project that you're doing. So I would take this and uh, sew in an edge line along the entire piece, even though I wasn't even if I don't add in more material, which you can also do, you can add in some padding and then cover it with another a layer of thin leather on the back to give some support. But just having the thread again just looks so much better. So if I was going to sell this template or give it to someone else to use, I would probably add in a seam line so that someone could use it to mark if they were going to be saddle stitching or hand stitching this with the stitching pony. They would want to have that on the template so that they could put in their line to stay straight on the leather. But again, in my case, I would take this to the sewing machine and have a magnet guard that would keep me sewing straight as an arrow for the most part. So I wouldn't really worry too much about missing this seam. So I don't end up using this, is what I'm getting at. It's not going to come out on the printout of the PDF template at the very end because I do not add in the holes. Okay, here we're just adding in the strap holes for the other piece that I'll be making here in a minute for the adjustments. All of the guitar straps have these. They typically had from around 6 to 8 slots. Something cool that I thought would be nice to do is to do a custom one of these for someone and not have all of those extra uh, slots. Just have the one that that person needs. But a lot of times in bands, people may share guitar straps or share guitars off the rack in the backstage. So it is good to have different adjustments. So there's probably a reason why you want so many. But I think it would look kind of cool to just have the one you need and nothing else. But anyway, I'm just going to do some basic copying here. I didn't do a pattern on path or anything fancy here. I just simply, uh, on a Windows computer, uh, Control C and the Control V. So just copy pasted these, and I would move them the distance that I need. I think I did them about an inch apart, and I add about 8 of them, like I said. So that is what I'm doing here. And when I go to extrude this, I will have holes here, which is what you need for the strap adjustment holes. All right. The one main piece is complete, as you can see, and I extruded it, I think about point 0.5 inches to give me a little bit of a leather look. No reference to how thick the leather I will be using on this project to make this. And what I'm doing now is making the adjustment strap. And this, I want to get a total length of adjustment to around 53, 54-ish, 52 overall. So that's kind of what I based the length on. And for the width, I just made it where I saw or where I thought it would be nice. And on this fillet here, I did a 0.75 on both sides, which really gives you that nice curve there at the bottom. You could have used a circle like I do for a lot of things, but it's also, as you can see, easy to do it in Fusion 360 this way, and you can do it many different ways. Now, right here on this construction line, I did it so Okay, so this is about the time I start figuring that something's not adding up. The circle is not right on both sides. So I take a line tool and run it across the top. And bam, there's the triangle. That's the center. And when I zoom in, what do you know? My construction line is not centered. So I just simply go back here and just make a new one a couple inches long to get through the project. And you can see that it's off. But that was me rushing at the beginning. So it's not off by a lot. It's off enough to not work though on this end of the belt strap. So anyway, that is how I caught it, and that is how I fixed it. Okay, so the purpose of this end being round is just to be able to get it through the adjustment straps and have something to hold it in place, because that will go through the adjustment holes, and then it'll turn around and you can attach it to the strap to where it won't come out. That simply holds it in the hole for the guitar strap to the main body. And here I'm just adding an appearance of leather, and I think I went a little crazy and did a blue on one of these just to kind of give it a different color. Um, oh, I did try the black perforated, but it looks terrible. So I ended up changing it to a blue. But anyway, the next video I'm going to be posting is showing you how I get this to the PDF printing stage. And I may actually leave it in this video now that I think about it, but I'm going to make a separate video as well showing how I convert these from Fusion 360 to PDF to be able to print them on 8.5 by 11 sheets to use for templates. Thanks for watching, and there will be more to come.